Hello, and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, divorce support for dads, where we help dads create a healthy and less traumatic divorce. My name is Jude Sandoval, and I'm your host. I created this podcast and the Divorced Advocate community as a result of my own high conflict divorce, and because you as a dad deserve all the resources necessary to thrive through this challenging time. I encourage you to check out our website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, where there are resources that correspond to this episode, as well as free access to our membership community, where you will find live meetings, free workshops and courses, private discussion groups, and more. And now, on to this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about navigating the ebb and flow of friendships amidst divorce. It was a topic that was prominent in our group meeting yesterday, and so I wanted to go through it. It's been a while since I talked about this, and we're going to break this up in two different sections. The first are going to be some reasons behind why, and the second is going to be some tips for dealing with it. But before we get into it, let's welcome our new members of the Divorce Advocate community. Those are Nathan, Matt, and Eric. Welcome. If you are not a member yet, check out thedivorcedadvocate.com and look at all of the resources there, membership page and group meetings and everything else that we've got going on. It's just, it's what you need. It's the resources that you deserve in going through this challenging time. The divorce quiz, again, is always there for you to gauge where you're at in your divorce compared to others who have gone through it. And it gives you some immediate results and some direct feedback as well. So check that all out at thedivorcedadvocate.com, and would love to see you under the membership site. All right, navigating the ebb and flow of friendships amidst divorce. Look, the end of a marriage most definitely is a profound event, and it has a ripple effect through various aspects of your existence, particularly friendships. And unfortunately, the friendships are not impervious to the changes brought about by divorce. And so, in the wake of that experiences, your friendships are going to encounter some strain, and definitely in some instances reach a point of dissolution, that they're going to go away. I think in my case, I ended up with, at least from close friends, just one that I would have considered a close friend at the end. I don't say that to scare anybody. It just is a fact of what happens. So let's just dive in. Let's dive in and talk about some of the reasons behind the challenges. And then I'm going to share also some eye-opening statistics around this as well. And the first reason is just people are going to take sides. And the thing I'd like everybody to keep in mind is the fact that a lot of this stuff has more to do with the other person or your friends than it does have to do with you. That was one of the things that we talked about on our group meeting this weekend, is that it's more reflective of the friends' ability to handle situations than it is particularly your situation. So people are going to take sides. Friends grapple with the pressure to do this, especially if one or the other of the spouse or of the friends was friends with one of the spouses, or maybe friends before. And so the taking side dynamic introduces strain and leaves sometimes people torn between loyalties, and jeopardizes the equilibrium of friendships. And statistics show that approximately 40% of friends report feeling pressure to choose sides during a divorce. And so that just contributes to the strained friendships. Another reason is changed social dynamics. This change in a divorce will within a friend group will create a difference in equilibrium, or a balance in the relationships or the friend group. And so group gatherings become filled with awkwardness, or an individual may feel uneasy navigating the altered dynamics of the relationship, stuff like that. And studies show that 65% of individuals in friend groups with divorced couples experience discomfort during social gatherings. And so you can see that most of these percentages are a high percentage, which, at least from my estimation, my experience and my estimation in talking, well, even just this weekend on in our group meeting, that a high percentage of these friends in friend groups deal with some of these reasons, and so we're already seeing that 40%, 65%. We've got even some higher percentage with the ones coming up. So just be aware. That's it. The next reason, a lack of understanding. The emotional and logistical complexities are not necessarily are not necessarily universally understood. Most of us have not or will not go through divorce, and so and if we do, we're not going to do it more than once. So this makes it difficult for people to empathize or provide really meaningful support, and so that makes us feel isolated or just unsupported, and that's difficult. And so the percentage around this is 80% of friends admit to lacking a complete understanding of the emotional challenges faced by their divorced friends. And this can even be between divorced friends between friends who are divorced or are going through a divorce, because every divorce is different. So my divorce might be different than your divorce. So understanding the emotional challenges of yours could be completely different than you understand, and you understanding the emotional differences of mine could be completely different than yours. So be aware of that as well. Another reason, different life priorities. When we're going through this, we are recalibrating our life's priorities. And so when focusing on that personal healing and adjusting to new living arrangements or navigating co-parenting responsibilities, these differing shifts can definitely impede on the maintenance or being able to maintain the same level of engagement in your friendships, which you'd hope people would understand. But research indicates that 70% of divorced individuals prioritize well-being over social engagements during the first year post-divorce, which is completely 100% understandable, but that will definitely have an impact on our friendships and our social groups. The next reason is fear of awkwardness. The fear of saying or doing the wrong thing leads some friends to distance themselves, and this fear-induced awkwardness becomes a formidable barrier to maintaining friendships during divorce, even when intentions are positive. Again, this goes back to people. It's more a reflection of emotional maturity around other people than it is you. Well, I mean, it could be you too if you're making things difficult and challenging for people, but just oftentimes, especially the people that are going to ghost you, the people that just don't know how to handle it and just run away or try to ignore the fact that it's going on. It's more of a reflection of their emotional, I should say, immaturity rather than maturity than it is you. The next reason, emotional exhaustion, which if you're listening to this and you're going through it, I would venture to guess that maybe some of you are experiencing it. I know that I did. And divorce exacts a considerable emotional toll, and it makes it challenging for us to invest energy in sustaining those social connections. Hopefully, at this time, if we've got good friends, they're picking up the slack on that. Relationships are not always 50-50, any relationship. And so during this, if we've got good friends and you've got good support, they might hopefully be picking up the slack. Although emotional exhaustion often results in withdrawal from social activities, and this can cause friendships to fade. And studies suggest that 60% of divorcing individuals report a decline in social interactions due to emotional exhaustion. And on that note, though, I will say, and this is a tough one, especially for us dads and for men in general, is to not isolate. We're going to talk about tips here coming up, but I do want to just mention that do not isolate. Make sure that you do keep those social connections because they're incredibly important, and you do deserve emotional support, and you do deserve support during this time. Let's see, number 7, the reason, change in friendships role. Now, while friendships typically serve as a support system during challenging times. Some friends may not be equipped to offer the necessary support during a divorce. Just exactly what I was just mentioning. The divorced individual may also find that their evolving needs require a different kind of support than their existing friendships can provide. So that might look like I had a group of guys that were into fantasy football, and we did that. Well, basically none of them I ever talked to after my divorce. So that in approximately 50% of friendships experience strain due to a mismatch in the support needed and offered during divorce. So that's not uncommon, and that also goes back to the shifting of the different life priorities as well. So, in a life priority, and your priority during this is to take care of yourself and take care of your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual self in order to be able to take care of your kids and get through this highly complex, difficult, straining, and chaotic time. So that's okay. Number 8, miscommunication, misunderstandings, and miscommunication can contribute significantly to the breakdown of friendships during divorce. And friends may unintentionally say or do hurtful things, leading to strained relationships that become difficult to repair. One of the prime examples of this might be somebody bad-mouthing your ex, or saying something like, "Oh, I never did like her anyway," which, while might be well-intentioned, is an incredibly poor thing to say, obviously, because we don't necessarily, our feelings don't necessarily go away for this person because we're going through a divorce and going through these challenges during this time. So while they are attempting to help and support, oftentimes there is miscommunication, and about 75% of friendships admit to experiencing miscommunication or hurtful interactions during a friend's divorce. And what I would say to that is just make sure to be open with your communications about how you're feeling during your divorce and with your friends, so that you can, so that it just allows you to maintain those friendships. If they know where you're at, and this doesn't necessarily mean that it will keep the friendship alive, but at least they'll know where you're at. So if there is miscommunications, setting the record straight and just being clear with how you felt about things is pretty important.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jude with a quick reminder about the Divorced Advocate Foundation for Fathers, which is our nonprofit that helps dads through divorce with legal education, free or reduced cost coaching, and mental health resources. If you own a business or know someone who does, there's an easy way to help by connecting credit card processing through our partner program. Part of the fees go straight to the foundation with no added cost to the business, and 98% of businesses are actually able to save money on their processing fees. It's a win-win. So if you know a business that accepts credit cards, get them in touch with me by sending a warm introduction email to jude@thedivorcedadvocate.com, or give me a call directly at 720-255-1021. The next one is protecting children. In cases where children are involved, friends may feel compelled to maintain distance to avoid becoming entangled in potential conflicts or legal matters related to custody arrangements, and the desire to shield children from additional stressors can impact friendships. I know that this one I've seen a lot, particularly if a spouse goes on a scorched earth campaign, trying to badmouth or discredit or literally destroy the other person. And so sometimes people just don't want to be involved with that, which is completely understandable. It's unfortunate, though, if they are good friends, that they don't stand up for you and help you through the process. But sometimes they will be doing that to protect themselves or their family or their children, if you have children that are friends with their children. And let's see, the last one I've got here as a reason is different trajectories. Post-divorce trajectories are often involve new beginnings, self-discovery, and personal growth. And friends who were integral to the pre-divorce life may not align with these new trajectories, resulting in a natural drifting apart. And statistics indicate that 55% of friendships experience a decline in connection as individuals pursue divergent paths divergent paths post-divorce. Like I said, I had one friend post-divorce that came out of it that I would have considered a good friend during and then after divorce. This is not completely uncommon. So just know that it's okay. And it's okay for these things to shift. One of the guys was just talking about this in our group meeting about how he was just absolutely mind-boggled of how different and how many changes there were with all of the people. And it really helped him to recognize and clarify about all of the relationships in his life, because he began to examine all of them through the lens of what he was going through and how they were reacting to it and what kind of friends they were being through it. So it's just another one of those fun things that you're going to be dealing with, that you're going to be working through, and you're going to be trying to understand, along with all the other stuff that you're going through. But just know that it's going to happen. That's the biggest thing I want you to be aware of. So let's talk a little bit now about some practical tips for this transformation. And the first one is acceptance. Is just accepting that it's going to happen. Acknowledge the shift is just, acknowledging the shift is just the beginning, but your true resilience lies in embracing the transformation. So acceptance sets the tone for the journey of personal growth and discovery, steering you towards a future unburdened by the weight of the past. What does that mean? It means you got to go through the process to get through acceptance. And in getting to acceptance, you may have to go through the entire grieving process. And we've got previous episodes about what that process is, what those steps are, the final one being acceptance. But you may be grieving. You may be angry at your friends. You may be depressed about about not having them anymore or how they're showing up. You may be bargaining. You may be any one of the grieving steps before you get to the acceptance that things are changing. Your friendship may be ending, or your friendships may be just evolving to be very, very different. The next tip is communication is key. I touched on that as a reason of miscommunication, but if you can visualize how heartfelt conversations between a divorced parent and their close friends, communication in its purest form becomes the bridge that spans the gaps created by divorce. These conversations are the nurturing ground where understanding takes root and support blossoms like a garden in full bloom. Now that sounds so pretty and awesome. In practice, it is probably more like, hey, dude, this really sucks. And it's a conversation on a beer about what did one guy describe this weekend? The year of suck. About the year being a difficult challenge all the way through, from filing to then dealing with how to co-parent and traverse life as a single dad. So, but the communication is key with your friends to help evolve that relationship, or maybe even end it if it's necessary. The next tip is quality over quantity. I told you I had one. It was a good friendship. It was really helpful and healing and helped me through it. So if you can envision a serene garden where friendships are carefully tended, choosing quality over quantity is akin to cultivating this garden, nurturing connections that weather life's storms. In the aftermath of divorce, prioritizing these meaningful relationships provides the shade and shelter needed to navigate the uncertainties that lie ahead. That just means pick and choose, because your time and your resources are going to be very different post-divorce, the friendships that you are going to cultivate. So make sure that they are ones that are going to expand your life and lift you up, and not ones that are going to be detrimental. And that can be friendships with family members as well as friends. So all relationships, this is a good one to pay attention to. Quality is going to be much more important than quantity. So you may have already experienced, and if you haven't, you will, that there's potentially, but more than likely and probably, a paring away of the relationships in your life. Well, a paring away of a lot of stuff in your life during this process, but particularly some of the friendships. So there will be lots that fall away. So cultivate the ones that are good and important. The next tip is stay neutral. Imagine yourself as a tightrope walker navigating that delicate balance during the divorce. Staying neutral is not about choosing sides, but maintaining equilibrium. And so preserve the bridges that connect you with friends and ensure these connections withstand the winds of change. Again, just, try not to put people in the middle of anything. Just try to let them know, maybe if necessary, what's going on and what you're going through, which is something we're going to talk about in one of these next tips, but try to not put them in the middle of things. The next tip is explore new hobbies. And so, creating, let's describe it as painting the canvas of your post-divorce life with vibrant passion or vibrant strokes. That's going to include finding new passions. And so explore new hobbies, new pastimes. It might be stuff that you have experienced in the past that kind of fell away and you got away from that you enjoy doing, or it might be some new things that you like to find to do, or you've always dreamed of exploring and taking up. So I hear it all the time. One of the things some of the guys have started doing on our group calls, getting together for some pickleball. Fun, it's social, it's easy, doesn't take a ton of athletic ability, but it is still an athletic endeavor. So you can work up a sweat, do a little competition, which is good for guys, and it's social and fun. And so that is one of them that lots of the guys have been getting into. Next is be open to new circles. So what I've got here is envision yourself as an explorer charting uncharted territories in the vast sea of social possibilities, right? So, hey, the world is your oyster now, right? You're open to new circles. You can widen your social orbit. You can discover hidden things and gems and places or people or experiences or anything. So embrace the unknown. You just never know what's going to resonate and what you're going to find. Tip number 7, patience is a virtue. This was a hard one, especially one of the gentlemen we were talking about. Look, it's going to take time to sow the seeds of new friendships. It's going to take patience, and it's just going to take time. And men, how do I say this? As men, we already many of us may already struggle to establish and grow relationships. And when we go through this time during divorce, then it becomes more difficult because we're older. We have gotten used to the friendships that we do have. Many of those may have been through the family dynamic that we had. They may be family relationships, family meaning friends that were friends with you and your ex and your kids. And so it was all the families that were friends. And now you may be going out to look just for guy friends. It may be that you had lots of guy friends before you got married, and then you didn't have any guy friends. That happens all the time. We get focused on families, on our jobs, and we get siloed. And so going back and then revisiting this and learning is oftentimes challenging. So for men post-divorce, because we're older now, we don't have just some of those social settings what we did when we were younger, and it may be a sports activity or going out drinking, and we just made friends. It's very different. We've got to be very intentional on how we go about doing that, but just be patient because it's going to take time for that to happen. Number 8, listen and learn. Weaving the tapestry of your life with threads of shared experiences. So again, conversation about this, communication we talked about earlier, but conversation. Immerse yourself with others and listen to the narratives of others. This is going to help build meaningful connections, but it's also going to help you to gather wisdom from others. So by listening and learning, I remember a client of mine was just absolutely mortified to tell his boss about what was going on at home because he needed some time off. He needed to explore potentially transferring jobs to a different location. and we had talked through literally just role played, having the conversation. And when he came back the following week, he said, "Oh my God, Jude, it was amazing. This guy had been through this before. He totally understood what I was going through, and he was able to even give me advice and help me out. And just by talking with him and listening to him, it was great because I got what I needed professionally accomplished, but it was almost healing for me as well to be able to do that." So listening and learning, being open to that, sharing your experiences, having those conversations, those narratives. There's a lot of other guys going through this as well. That's why we have these group meetings that happen, and we talk and we share about it, because it just helps us learn immensely. The next one, embrace vulnerability. And that's part of these calls as well, is carving out the raw, unfiltered truth of your experiences. Inevitably, every time we had another new guy on this week, that gets emotional, and it's okay. And that's a good thing, to let people see your struggles, and it helps you forge those connections with others, and forge them in an authentic way by being vulnerable. And that can lead to these genuine and enduring connections and friendships that you'll have. I've made ones now that have been lasting for years and years, and I foresee them lasting for probably the rest of my life during this. And part of that was also because I learned some of these tips that I'm giving you right now post-divorce, that has allowed me to establish some more meaningful, deeper relationships that are based on more authenticity and vulnerability and sharing experiences and being open about what's going on. And the last one is, hey, celebrate those small wins. Envision yourself as an adventure, scaling the peaks of personal victories. Celebrating small wins isn't a mere pause in your journey. It's a triumphant chorus echoing through the valleys. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory anthem that resonates with the rhythm of resilience and self-discovery. One of the things we do on the call every week is share wins from the week. Small wins eventually add up to big victories. And so celebrate each of those small wins all the time as you go through that. And so, while you're navigating this terrain of the challenging friendships, I hope that you can utilize some of these tips: acceptance, communication, cultivating meaningful connections. These are just not strategies; they're building blocks of the future that holds the promise of growth, discovery, and resilient connections, like I said. And the other thing is, remember, you're not alone. Embrace the transformative power within each of these tips, and may your path be adorned with the vibrant hues of a life well lived, even in the face of change. So I hope that this was helpful, gentlemen. I know that you're going through a challenging time, and I would hope that if you do not have any support, that you reach out to our community. You can go to the divorcedadvocate.com website, and you can send me a message through that anytime. My cell phone number is 720-255-1021. If you ever just need a kind word of encouragement or support, you can always text me. Obviously, I have a lot going on in life. It won't be an immediate response, but I do always promise to respond and talk with and share a kind word of support with you, just to let you know that you are going to get through this. You are strong enough to get through this. We talked about that on the call this weekend as well. And while it is potentially the year of suck, like one of the guys said this weekend, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because some of the other guys on our call have met some amazing people and have developed amazing relationships. I have with some of the guys on those calls, and I know that you will as well. So Hope this was helpful. Please share it far and wide. Give us a star rating. Leave us a comment. And have a terrific week. We will talk to you next week. God bless. To hear the rest of this episode and access the corresponding resources, visit thedivorcedadvocate.com and become a member of our community. It's free to join and will provide you with the resources you deserve as a divorced or divorcing dad. Thank you for listening. God bless, and I'll talk with you next week.